We go first against Liliana. Let's give it a go. We've got an early creature, which is always good to pressure. And we can get him back as well with a resto. And the Grave Pact might be good, but depending on how many creatures they run, this might be the first thing we're going to discard. Thoughtseize. No, Fatal Push. Okay. We can get the dog back with the resto, so... we'll see. Liliana is a very scary commander, though. Honor City Plunder. We'll get rid of the Grave Pact. I fear that that's not going to be very useful. So they're going to go for the Lily in the following turn, so we desperately need some answers for her now. Which we currently don't have until the doggo comes back. Well, the dog does come back. If this stays around. Virus Beetle. Ugh. We'll get rid of this Signet. Okay. And then we'll get rid of this, and then we get the dog back. So, as I was saying, the dog is going to be invaluable because it stops the Liliana from sacking our Ivor. So, let's see how this goes. Basically, anything that gives us bonus creatures is going to be good against her. Lotho. Okay. Anything else? Shieldred's Edict. So we're going to lose the Selfless Saviour here. But we do get back a 3/4 Architect that then makes us more tokens. Nice. So do we care about the Fatal Push to kill the Lotho? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack first and see what happens. Because now we're going to get some mites if they don't block. This is actually pretty interesting. Because the mites basically invalidate Liliana. Let's play her. I don't feel like they're going to use a board wipe because they played a Lotho. And now things are looking pretty decent. As I said, as long as we keep the creature count high for their Lily. Shieldred makes us lose a creature. That's pretty annoying. I guess we'll lose the... we'll lose the Rhea because that's we can just cast her out again. Oh, that's annoying that that came out there. That is going to cause us a bit of an issue. Whenever any player casts a second spell. It's pretty good. Cling to Dust. So we're going to say goodbye to our dog, but because they chose the dog, they don't draw a card for that, which is curious. So I think we'll make each player sacrifice a creature. How do we get past the Shieldred? Don't think we do we? Do we care about the... I think we just slam Rhea. Get rid of her. So we'll make the Henrika hopefully create another Mite. We'll sack a Mite here. They'll lose their Virus Beetle. And then we'll swing over the top. So it's just a battle of attrition now. I would like to keep the Fatal Push for the Lotho, but I think getting at the Rhea Ivor was more important. And also the fact that they're exiling creature cards in our graveyard, it just means Shieldred's not going to flip anytime soon. We now have 0 cards in the graveyard. Swarm Saboteur deals damage, conjure a Virus Beetle. So yeah, I said it once and I said it again. Whenever you're facing mono black discard, the goal is to never have cards in your hand. So we're going to try and get rid of as much as possible here. Right, let's go to combat. Let's draw and lose a life. Oh, ironically we get our own Shieldred. So that'll be good. We're definitely going to be playing her then, because that's maxing out our mana efficiency here. So they're going to lose one of their really quite decent creatures, to be honest. So now the only thing that's really going to help them is a board wipe. And I think if they do, we will be in a lot of trouble because Liliana recovers from a board wipe a lot better than a Cold Steel Heart and an 8 mana Rhea Ivor does. Nevertheless, coming down to make us discard.
Happy to help, but I'm taking the credit when we win.
1, 2, and we take him out. Oh, that feels really good. So don't forget, against Liliana, overwhelm with more creatures and get rid of your hand as soon as possible, because banking cards means you lose the game. Cool beans. Getting to go first with the black market connections, that's definitely a keeper. Niv is a scary commander. Do not underestimate him. Being able to double spells is pretty crazy from the graveyard. Obviously, they have to discard a card to play one from the graveyard, and it has to be a guild colour, but it matters not. Never knew how long Niv's tail was until I saw this artwork, but it is a massive, massive dragon, isn't it? Okay. Shame we don't have any earlier drops, because it would have been nice to go turn 1, turn 2, but we'll see. They have omniscient sleeves, which is worrying. Is it more or less worrying than the amount of time they're taking to decide their first land? Who knows? Okay, Fragment Reality. That's a pretty decent piece of removal, especially if they play a rock here. I would like to exile one of their rocks if possible. Look at that artwork. Amazing. Okay, so assuming we get to keep this black market connections, we could actually go for the Lolth in the following turn. Got a lot of options. Lolth plus Grave Pact. Oh, that's nice. Make the creatures. And then the creatures die. And then Niv dies. 2 mana open into the north. Okay. Also, these spiders that Lolth makes have reach, which is pretty awesome. And a Rankle. Oh my, we've got a lot of answers for Niv here. It's great because they've got protection from monocolored normally. Never realised how disgusting Lolth looked.
You could have such power.
Just look at how
Subservience will.
she's sort of like an elfy person coming out of a giant spider sack body thing. That is disgusting. I'm sure that in the lore there's something behind that in D&D. Maybe if someone plays D&D, you could tell me exactly what or how Lolth was created. Even more creepily than that is the guy that's about to be eaten. It looks like he's being shushed by one of her many hands, which just makes it even more horrifying. But yeah, seeing the new Baldur's Gate game looks pretty cool, especially since I've never played D&D, but I've learned a few of the characters from the expansion in this game. So that's pretty cool. Chromatic Lantern, so they're not actually playing much else, interestingly enough. We do have 4 mana open. They're going to mortify that. Okay. Not that bothered. Enters battlefield. Creatures you control and creatures in your hand. Which again, when this dies, create a Phyrexian. That's really good, right? That's really good. Let's draw a card, though. It doesn't even care if it's a token or not, right?
My words are for ambitious minds.
Sure, we'll go for this, I think. Test this thing out. So everything... That's so powerful. This is an uncommon that basically gives each and every one of our other things undying in a strange roundabout way. And as long as they don't know about our Grave Pact, we should be good, because if they are to block any of our things, and if any of the things die, then they will lose Niv. So let's see what they have. This is typically a pretty tough matchup, just given how much value Niv has. Obviously, if they have Farewell, it will get rid of all the creatures without giving us anything back, but it will leave the Lolth behind, and it will leave their artifacts behind unless they're an absolute idiot. Currently looking at our tokens thinking, oh my goodness, how many words? And they'd be right to think that. Although looking at each of them individually like this is a bit weird, unless this is casualties of war, of course. which I can almost definitely say it is. Because I've just looked at a land, a creature, and a planeswalker. How much do you want to bet? They're going to go for Seagate Restoration instead. Wow. That's a ballsy move. How much damage can we do? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, hexproof. And prevent all damage. That's going to be good. Do we want to save Rankle? We can make that a 1-4. Drain them for 2. I feel like we just go for the I always want to say Rita Aura, which is silly, but... Right, let's make the Seething Skitter Priest create some more might, guys. 11. So if they do have a board wipe, we're probably going to see it here. But prevent all damage that black and red sources would deal. So if it's a red numbered damage spell, we can actually prevent that. I feel like that's very unlikely. But then again, it's a 5-color deck. They could have everything. I mean, they're using Seagate Restoration for some strange reason. Feels a bit, I don't know, feels a bit off in a deck that cares about dual colors. My Niv Mizzet Supreme deck would mostly have dual color cards. Seagate Restoration feels as though they've, I don't know, maybe seen the deck list somewhere else and decided, but if they do have casualties now, though, I don't really care because we can counter it basically with Surge of Salvation. It's what comes next that worries me because they still have 2 mana, so they could counter the Surge. Wow, okay. What is going on here? Being really kind of passive. They still have enough for casualties, so if that was the decoy spell just to see if we have priority. Supreme Verdict. Prevent all damage, so that won't work, sadly. Okay, at least we get some things back. Look at the triggers. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. They didn't anticipate that, did they? Or did they? Maybe they did. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. But they are pausing as if they never even thought of it, so...
Aren't I generous?
Okay, and we've got 4 things back, which is kind of insane. Especially when there's just ultimates here. Whenever an opponent is dealt damage, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal difference. I mean, yeah, that was a very peculiar game with a lot of hesitation, and I feel like they banked the verdict to get more things later on, but by doing so, I don't know. Yeah, just not a great experience of a matchup there, sadly. This is a pretty insanely powerful hand. This is giving me modern vibes here. This is straight up modern vibes. I mean, Garrick, when I used to play modern as well, I'm pretty sure Garrick used to be used as a one-of in some decks as well. He's just so good. It's cool to see him though, you don't see him very often. Tumbling Sea, these are all ridiculously expensive spells. I think we'll get rid of the Eldest Reborn. I mean, the Shieldred's Edict is annoying. But we've got a Bitter Blossom, so it's all good. Please don't play a 2-drop after that. They actually drew something they can play. Utopia Sprawl. So that now taps for 2, so they'll have 4 mana the next turn. I'm still going to go for the Blossom first, though. I mean, there's nothing else we can do anyway. As if they drew that. Crazy. And then holding priority because I've just never seen this card before, maybe? I'm not sure. It's always scary on the whole priority. I'm like, oh, what reactions have they got? But so they've got 4 mana as if. And a Defense of the Heart as well. That's a crazy luck they got there. So if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sack this, search library for 2 creatures, put this card on the battlefield. That is so broken, isn't it?
The hunt begins.
So in a way, we want them to have... Oh, strange. Surely they'd want us to have creatures, but... So now they're going to have... 1, 2, 3, 4... If they get 5 mana next turn... Yeah, I don't know what to do. I think we just go for Rankle and just kill the Garrick.
Remember, you
If an opponent has 3 or more creatures... Oh, damn, that is literally the worst case scenario when we have a bit of Blossom out. It counters us so hard. Searching for 2 creatures. Ah, okay, but now they're playing a creature, so... Intriguing. Shoulder's Edict, get to the Rankle as well. So I'm in 2 minds about this. They keep going backwards and forwards. With, like... If they want to use this, use it properly. It's a mythic. Come on now. So don't want to go for Mondrak because it's going to trigger their guy. Let's just go for the Evil. It's all bad, to be honest. So we want to leave the Caryatid, which is annoying. Two creature cards. Wow. That is broken in this format. What else are we going to do? Not play a creature? At least we have Wrath of God, right? The Wrath of God means that we can get rid of it all. So... I must admit, I actually misread Defense of the Heart. I thought it said 3 more creatures than them. It just says 3 or more, which makes it even more powerful. Because it wasn't... It's at that point, it's not like a balancing act. So they're going for Big Vorinclex and Primeval Titan. Okay, so now they've got double mana. And if they play... So they get... Wait, what? Oh no, they're still... Did they just skip the... They just skipped the Primeval Titan searching 2 lands. Absolute joke. They spent all that time searching for these 2 and forget... You know what? I'm leaving this in. That's stupid. Absolute fool. Although, how much of a joke is this? Even with skipping the Primeval Titan 2 lands coming in, it's not as if they were in a bad situation, was it? They still had 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana in which they could have played literally anything in their hand. So, I think if I'd missed that trigger, I think I would have gone to see how much more I could have gone. Because don't forget, those lands also come in tapped, which means they would not have had a direct influence on the game anyway. So this is a weird case where the concession was a mistake, 100%. Even though we had Wrath of God, they didn't know about that, but they would have been able to recover pretty damn good because we would have had -4 lands for their following turn. Man, there's an interesting vortex of mistakes, and I mean, we make mistakes here as well, but they didn't need to quit there at all. This would have been a sick hand with the white mana source, but we can't keep. And this one's okay. Interesting. I feel like they're going to draw a card, though, because Wrath of God is the same CMC as Rita Aura. But it's cool to face an opposing Talion, because I've only used one so far. Now, on paper, it looks good. It does look really good. I didn't mean to do that. But I feel as though it's just maybe too slow 1v1. We'll see. Maybe if it's just a counterspell build. Lol. Someone the other day said to me, stop moaning about people using counterspells. I just thought, you know what? F you. I will moan about whatever the hell I want. It's my channel. So, your own channel. I always think that. Most people, I'll say 99% of my viewers watch this content for free. And you know what? It's absolutely fine. I have no issues with that. Until the moaning happens. And I think you can just watch anything else. Just go watch literally anything else. That's fine. But yes, I will continue to hate counter spell tribal deck. See, I don't mind one counter spell, so we'll see how many there are, but yeah, when it's just purely counter spells, that's what drives me mad. But so far, okay, this is fun. Benefit of the doubt. So if we did this, we'd have 7 mana, which isn't enough to double spell. So I think we just go for Rankle. But also, so we're going to go for discard and sack. We're going to be really brutal about this. And I'm going to get rid of Wrath of God. Because we have the Rankle, I don't want to get rid of him, and he can kill the Talion anyway, if he can get through. So, we'll see. That is 4 flying toughness, to be fair, but we'll see how it goes. They're going to name 4. They're going to name 3. Interesting. Okay, so if we play at a land, so we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still can't double spell. And we'll create a couple of reach blockers.
Envy the strong, for my will cannot be denied.
And yeah, we'll pass for now. I'm still pretty confident that discarding the Wrath was fine, because losing Rankle would have sucked a bit, I think. Gilded Lotus. Ooh. That's a big ramp spell. Always terrifies me when people do this, because I think, what on earth are they trying to get? And you know what? Some people forget that these spiders have reach. So I'm not going to hover over them. A little psychological tip for you there. Never hover over the cards you think will gain you the most advantage, because it will just bring attention. There's lots of little things in this game. Okay, so let's use a Temple and Scry first, so we can kind of just detect what's on top. Esper Sentinel, that's a good spell. But they've got so much mana now, I think it's pretty mute. Raids, okay. So they're going to draw a card. Annoyingly, if you play Braids, they'll also draw. So I kind of don't want to do that, but at the same time, I kind of do. Because we'll also draw as well. Damn. That's a lot of drawing. They got lucky naming 3, didn't they? So what should we get rid of? I think we're going to get rid of a land. I mean, it will make the search for Scanter flip a bit faster if they do choose that. As if we just got a land back. Okay. So at this point, a board wipe would be just the end of us, I reckon. But discover the formula. Gives them 3 random cards from the deck, and all the cards in the hand cost 1 less. And they pass. Mondrak. These are just 4s. Okay, let's draw a card again. Vanishing Verse. Okay, that's a good decoy spell. So actually, the Mondrak is the decoy spell, because we kind of want to exile the search. Spell Swindle. Right. Get rid of that. They will get 4 mana from this, but... So if we attack, the Battle Cry means good things. So that'll be a 4/3 attacking in with the Rankle. I mean, they do have 4 mana open. This could go badly. They're just going to block the Rankle. That's scary. So does that mean they have a board wipe? Well, if they do, then I guess we get rid of a creature now anyway, right? Selfless Savior.
I will.
they're just realizing that that passive on Loth is kind of good. Would have been nice to have played the Savior there, but yeah, that was the end step. Is it going to be boring like Farewell? Lorien reveal, draw 3. Okay, they've got a lot of mana here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They can do literally anything. They can do Omniscience. But they're going to go for Talion. I wonder what they're going to name. 3 again. Interesting average. They do like that number, don't they? Do they want to block again? Do they want to block again? This is the question. Ability control, legendary creature, amass orc attacks. Only if a creature died this turn. That might be very good to do. I think we're just going to draw first. Oh, Fragment Reality. Okay, this could be good as well. Let's just go to combat first. So if we attack with braids, let's just see what happens here. So she becomes a 4/3. Do they want to trade the Talion again? Not this time, it seems. Down to 12. And I don't... Again, they played Talion, so I don't really think of board wipes on the cards, but... Just in case, we'll try and go for the Selfless Savior. Which doesn't... Again, it doesn't really protect against a... bounce spell, but there you go. Woe Strider. And now the Loth is out of range of the Talion attack. I do wonder what they've got. Let's get rid of the Gilded Lotus here. Slow them down a bit. They will get a creature instead, but we can block those. Wow, they're legit. They're legit going to counter it. Okay, so draft a card from Binder Secrecy's spellbook. Loads of random things we can't even account for. This is why I don't like spellbook cards, because there's too many variables and it becomes kind of just impossible to predict what's going to happen. So, annoyingly, Woe Strider is a 3, which means if we cast it, they'll draw another card, which is not very nice for us, but... Mitrata. Is this just a straight-up creatures build? I've played 3 counters. We're on the verge of annoying. 3 is kind of like, okay. And they've still got 7 mana up. But we have quite the attack force. It's just a shame about the Atrata's huge butt. Atrata's 5 toughness is kind of big. Blightwing Whelp. Gains haste whenever it deals damage to a player. Seek a card. Okay. They're not going to give it haste, which means they have 5 mana up that they want to do something with. Okay. Bitter Blossom. That's good. Negate. I really don't want to give them a card. But I do kind of want to alpha. Let's go for the Bitter Blossom first. See if they have a response to this. I actually don't care if they counter this. This is just an absolute decoy. Okay, 4 counter spells. Yeah, we're in the realm of annoying now. Because it becomes part of their identity. Right. I'm actually... We're going to target... Because I don't really care about adding any more mites. I just want to deal straight up damage. Let's target the Atrata. It's completely arbitrary at this point. The fact you can even choose your opponents is kind of weird. If they do anything to get the hexproof, they're just going to bounce the Rhea. That is kind of annoying. In response to that ability makes it even stranger, but there you go. Okay, so now I don't want to attack. draw a card, see what we get. I'd like some removal. Considering they've just used so many bloody... Right, let's get her out again. We're just going to die to this freaking Talion, aren't we? Have they used another counter here? Oh my god. See what I mean, guys? This is just irritating. We're going to put in the library because we're going to draw an end step anyway with braids. And put it back in our hand. Okay, sure.
I will cull the weak.
The thing about Talion is, it's one thing like just drawing off our spells, but then when they start, you know, just saying stuff like, you know, countering the spell as well, it's just insult to injury. So they're going everything in at Lolth. So we've got a blocker there, but we can't block the Talion, so... Okay, I guess we just lose Lolth, which is a bit sad.
I return to the abyss. My will
Board wipe?
cannot be denied.
Surely you'd have a wipe after that. Necrotic. Okay, fine, we'll just use it and they're going to kill it anyway. Try and give Braids protection here. What's going to be the pièce de résistance then after all this, I wonder? They're just going to steal our cards now. Okay. That's annoying. I do wonder if we can actually kill them with this Barrador, you know. Meat Hook Massacre. Oh my goodness. That sucks. That really does suck. Kaya. Can we resolve a Kaya? 3 mana open though. Interesting.
Phyrexia shows no mercy, so neither will I.
Right. Let's get rid of this Talion, because that's super irritating. If this resolves, we get our own Talion as well. They're just going to steal something else. Sure. Okay, so we get a 1/1 Talion.
Who's next?
And... I guess we'll go for 3 as well. And that's a legendary creature, so we can go for the Woe Strider too. So annoyingly, the Atrata cannot be blocked, but at least we have some kind of different threats going on here. So if they attack with the Atrata, they can just... They're going to go for the Kaya. Okay. Funnily enough, she has never actually attacked us. And therefore exile the creature afterwards, so... Feed the Swarm. Wow, they're going to lose 0 for that, because that's... Oh no, they do lose 4. Because it's a copy token. And then I think we're going to sack the goat here. They're at 4. That's pretty risky. Having no blockers. They must have something, right? Sorin. Okay, I guess we'll go for the Rhea decoy spell as such. Counter creature spell. Okay. That's yet another counter. And so here's the annoying thing. If we do, I think we just go for Sorin. Really? Another counter spell? That's just bollocks. That really is just bollocks. What the hell? As if they've just had all that. Yep, Down to 1. And they have the Enchanter to exile the Woe Strider. So we're kind of screwed, really. As if they just doubled their life. Okay. Annoying. Annoying! So Enchanter gets shuffled back in. If they do that 2 more times, they win the game. Sure. And Talion comes out. How many more counter spells can they possibly have, though? 3 again. ECD. Come on, let's resolve something. Please? Thank God. The fact we get to resolve a spell at all is an absolute miracle versus this player. This has got to be the CGB build, right? Because it ain't mine. Telling you that now. Supreme Will. So they'd rather find something than counter something that's going to kill them. Okay. We'll see. Did it pay off? It's a Shieldred. And Italian. Oh my god. As if they have the mana for all that. Draw. I feel like we die, don't we, in our turn? Let's find a card with the gate. Orcish Bowmasters. Does that... I think we just go for this now before they can actually do anything else. Deal 1 damage to them. So if they draw any additional cards, they die. Okay. Okay, so we just have to hold off a little bit. Any draw spell. Okay, well, they're not going to die now, of course, but they're going to gain 2 for each draw. So actually, the Bowmasters is very minimal here in what it does. But they have nothing else to draw, and we're going to get the ECD. Oh my god, thank goodness. That was getting stressful. Really stressful. Too many counters. Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're looking at a donation deck. So this is for one of my Ko-fi donators, Greg Eck. Thank you so much, Greg. You are incredibly generous with your donation. And I asked Greg which commander he would like to see. And he said Rita Ivor, which is something we don't see very often. And it's very interesting and unique ability. And it's a shame we don't see more of it, to be honest. So the reason it's weird is, so she has Battle Cry, which you didn't know, whenever she attacks, each other attacking creature is +1/+5. That's very awesome, and it's an ability you don't see very often. This was in the original Scars of Meridian block, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, the next time target creature would deal damage to 1 or more players as combat, prevent that damage. So that's weird, right? You want to kill them, but then you don't want to kill them. But if you prevent the damage from that creature, you get that many colours, Phyrexian Might creature tokens with Toxic 1, and they can't block. So essentially, you hit with something big, you prevent the damage, and you create that many infectors instead. Very unique, very interesting. The flavour for it is something I can't figure out, but maybe in the comments you can tell me thematically why that would happen. The prevention of damage, creating these creatures, kind of cool. I really like it though. And yeah, let's go into the deck tech. So the deck itself wants to have lots of creatures. How many are actually in the deck? There's only 21, which isn't a fantastic amount, isn't a lot, but there are other ways to create creatures. And one of the newest ways that we have is Bitter Blossom, which is just ludicrous. Every upkeep you create a 1/1 flying fairy at the cost of 1 life. We also have boosters. So Flowering of the White Tree gives all your legends +2/+1 and Ward 1, which is already incredible, but also gives you non-legends +1/+1 for 2 mana. This is so silly. We have protection spells like Invasion of Gobekhan, which looks in our opponent's hand, makes something more expensive, and if this flips via battle, on your end step, you put a +1 counter on each creature that attack this turn. This is awesome, and to top it off, you can sacrifice Light Shield Array to give your creatures hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. It does a lot of things. When you get a few mites out, you might want to even sacrifice one with Diabolic Intent, which lets you search your deck for any creature card. Corpse Knight deals damage. Sorry, should I say each opponent loses 1 life whenever a creature comes in. This is really powerful, really built up. What else do we have? Glorious Anthem, just, you know, the original Anthem that used to cost 3 mana. Now they're starting to cost 2. It's a bit scary, but yeah, it's okay. It doesn't feel too bad. We have Boromir to protect the team by giving them all indestructible. We have Henrika Dobnathi, which sacrifices a creature, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, which is good because you'll be making mites that can't block anyway, so that's cool. Rankle's going to make the most of 3 creatures not being able to block by sacrificing them. Grave Pact is great with those. Anytime you sack a creature, your opponent will sack as well. It's just an insanely good card. I want to test Gandalf out as well. When it becomes a spell, creatures get +1/+0 until their turn, square 1. This is actually really awesome because it doesn't care what kind of spell. It's not a prowess ability, it's actually better than prowess. Prowess only cares about non-creature, so that's fantastic. Once all your creatures die, bring them back with Sorin. Whenever your creatures die, put loyalty on Lolth. So you get the picture. Lots of payoffs here. Shouldered is just a really cool card to just kick ass by itself. So strong. And we have this Braids, which can sacrifice your creatures and or artifacts to make your opponent sack. And if they don't, they lose 2 and you draw a card. There's all sorts of stuff going on in this deck. It makes it really interesting. It is an aggressive deck, so you want to go forth and smash. But also it goes long as well. That's why we've got stuff like Kai just to end the game versus control, hopefully. But yeah, as I said, it's interesting. I tried to make it a bit fun by having lots of female knights, but it was so difficult to do that just because of the namesake Ladies' Night. But yeah, there's a fair few Phyrexians, so it's quite a Phyrexian in nature. I hope you enjoyed this deck list, Greg Eck. It was an absolute pleasure making this for you because the suggestion was very unique, as is all of my donation suggestions, which is really cool, actually. I like to think that that's the audience I pull in. If you'd like me to create a deck for you and make a video for yourself, just like my wonderful previous donators, check out the description box below where you can see all the details involved. You can donate monthly or a one-off, and every little helps. Not to steal the supermarket slogan there. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.